Hello. With the 2017 football season drawing to what I consider a merciful end, because this has been a memorable season for almost all the wrong reasons, I had to make a decision about the direction of my channel. What would I do during the times where news is dead, slow, or just uninteresting when it comes to football? Would I go dark till something interesting pops up? Not the best way to grow a channel. So I decided this is going to be my attempt to transition into other sports content. The NHL has invited a group that is going to renovate Seattle's key arena to apply for an expansion franchise. The company, called the Oakview Group, is a company out of Los Angeles, and they hope that a team will begin play when the arena is ready to go in 2020. And in order to begin the stages of creating an expansion package, a lawyer for OVG registered 38 sites under 13 names. The names, as you saw in the beginning graphic there, and I'm going to read them here, are Cougars, Eagles, Emeralds, Evergreens, Firebirds, Rainiers, Kraken, Renegades, Sea Lions, Seals, Sockeyes, Totem, and Whales. And yes, that is totem like a totem pole in the singular. Some of these are interesting. Some of these are quite bizarre. Others are just generic and boring with a lack of any imagination put forth whatsoever into the name. The first one I take objection with is Cougars. Because I tried to look and I thought I could actually count how many colleges were named the Cougars. I got up to like 100, and I was only into E's because they were listed in alphabetical order. And you also got Washington State University, who are also the Cougars, who play the Washington Huskies, which is a Seattle institution. So, for those poor, Husky fans, they go from Cougars suck to going to the next day going to a Seattle Cougars hockey game going Cougars rule. You see the problem? I hate it. So in my opinion, Kat decided she was going to send her fluffy butt in the way here. The second one is the Eagles. This is another unspectacular name, overused. You know what? We should just make a list. We should just make a list of team names that have been so overused that they should be retired. Cougars, Eagles are one. I'm also looking at Tigers, Bears, Crusaders, Raiders, and Knights of any color or creed, for that matter. And in Washington, you also have Eastern Washington University, another major college down on the FCS level, who are the Eagles. Unless somebody went to one of these colleges and these are the teams that they wanted. Oh yeah, let's name it after my alma mater. It's completely stupid. Overused. We should just retire Cougars and Eagles. No more of it. College, pros, you got the Philadelphia Eagles. It just gets to be too much oversaturation of a name. The Emeralds, I'm intrigued by it, but it kind of makes us feel stupid because we know Seattle is called the Emerald City. And really, what's your mascot going to be? A jewel? How are you going to... I don't see any way to market it unless you sell the naming rights of Key Arena to like Jared or K. K Jewelers Arena. Or he went to Jared. The Galleria of Jewelry. So I just don't see how that's going to work. Another one I take exception to is Wales. Hartford, one of these years, are hoping to get a team. And if Hartford, which are the Whalers, because that would be the team name that they would want and they would push for, would be stuck having to change something else because Seattle took Wales, which is just an R away from being Whalers. Mass confusion, mass chaos. Don't want it. I don't think the NHL would want it either. So then the next one here I don't like is the totem. I mean, the Seattle Totem, it was already a team. I think it was a baseball team. I know one of these were an old baseball team, if I'm not mistaken. But I know the Seattle Totem is obviously a totem pole, and lately in sports we've been trying to get away from Native American Indian heritage names. You know, our culture is not a mascot. So let's just take that eliminates totem, and also kind of firebirds in a way, because firebirds are, you know, Native American mythology. Now the one that reigns stupidest is the Sockeyes. I think this is so ridiculous of a name. I had to actually look up what a sockeye was. Turns out it's a salmon. That's it. It's a fish. See? That's what it is. It's a fish. I think the Seattle Salmon would sound better than the Seattle Sockeyes. And here's their mascot. Their mascot could be Roy the Fish. So, Sockeyes just from that don't work. One I love, but it doesn't work with the way I picture Seattle, in my opinion, is the Renegades. I would love it if the team was in San Antonio. Not hippie, mocha, frappuccino drinking, yuppie Seattle. It just doesn't work. There's nothing in Seattle that says Renegades. Seals, there used to be a hockey team called the California Golden Seals. And I don't know, I just don't like, me personally, I don't like duplicates of things. But it does go with the maritime heritage. And so that's why I kind of have been keeping sea lions, krakens. Now Rainiers is another one, you know, you're going to name it after a mountain, but for some people it's going to be very hard to say. It's it almost makes you sound like you're French. The Seattle Rainiers. We are the Seattle Rainiers, yes. And it wouldn't work. I mean, it's paying homage to Mount Rainier, but it just doesn't have a marketing to it, and it just wouldn't work out well. I don't think. Evergreens are a tree. And the Stanford Cardinal mascot is one of the creepiest things I've ever seen in my life, if you ask me. It is just unnatural. And trees don't make good mascots. Trees should not be a nickname. You should not name your team after a tree. But it's sturdy and strong. I don't care. So we're down to, in my opinion, Sea Lions or Kraken. I'm very split between the two. I think the Kraken is cooler, but Seattle sports teams lately have been using the double S. You have the Seattle Storm women's basketball team. You have the Seattle Seahawks, obviously. You had the Seattle Supersonics. The only team who isn't SS is the Seattle Mariners. But the Kraken is really cool. It is very maritime, you know, big frickin' octopus or giant squid that rips apart. So I don't know, just to be on the safe side, I'll take the Sea Lions. And the reason I put the Metropolitans up here is because a lot of the this wasn't one of the 13 that were on there, but a lot of the hockey traditionalists, when this first began, when this was first announced, a lot of the hockey traditionalists tried to put together kind of a website to push for the Seattle Metropolitans to come back. For those of you who are not boned up on hockey history, the Metropolitans were the first non-Canadian team to win the Stanley Cup. They did that in like 1917. So that was, 100 years ago. But obviously it's not one of the 13, so I mean, things can change between now and 2020. But I don't think the the Seattle Mets are coming back anytime soon, if ever. So, although my favorite one of these is the Seattle Kraken, because I just think the idea of the Kraken is cool. I think the one that works best with the city itself, it will be the Seattle Sea Lions. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And I will see you next time.